Today we're taking a look at Warak Enab or stuffed vine leaves, a food that is synonymous with Middle Eastern cuisine and part of every large feast. There's dozens of unique fillings that come from all over the region, including the Egyptian variety which has a tomato and herb seasoning. I'm Obi and today I'm going to show you how to prepare and stuff vine leaves using my Egyptian mother-in-law's recipe. Now let's get started. The star of today's show is definitely the vine leaves. If you haven't had these before, they are the leaves of certain varieties of grape vines. They have a tangy and citrusy flavour which tastes similar to lemon zest. Once stuffed and cooked, they have a soft texture and they make the perfect vehicle for well-seasoned rice. We used these previously in our Iraqi dolma video a few months back, and that was a meat and rice filling with a tangy tamarind sauce. You can get these at any Middle Eastern, Turkish or Balkan grocery store. They're usually sold jarred or vacuum packed, and I would highly recommend paying the premium price if you can get tender young vine leaves. The younger and smaller the leaf, the more tender it will be once cooked. But before we prepare and roll the leaves, we have to make the stuffing. First thing we'll do is wash our rice, as we need it to dry completely before we use it. I'm going to be using Egyptian rice in this recipe, and it has a short and fat shape that gives the vine leaves a nice texture. The best substitute would be a variety of Calrose rice, or you can use ordinary Japanese rice instead. Wash your rice the legally obligated 3 times until the water runs clear, then place it in a strainer to drain off any remaining water. With that out of the way, we'll carry on with the prep, starting with 400 grams or 14 ounces of tomatoes, which you'll need to blend into a liquid. I find canned tomatoes have a much stronger flavour, so I'd recommend adding them to a blender with a small amount of liquid and processing until they turn into a juice. Next you'll take 3 medium onions, and you want to dice these into a small dice. The smaller the onion, the easier it will be when you come to roll the leaves. Following that, we'll prepare the herbs, and we'll be using both parsley and dill in this recipe, but some people also add some mint. Take about 8 to 10 sprigs of dill, or about 75 grams, and chop off the thick bit of stalk at their bottom. Remove any massive stalks, then finally chop this up. When done, you should have 2/3 of a cup of dill, and we'll be using a 3:2 ratio of parsley and dill. Repeat the same thing with about 125 grams of parsley, making sure you remove their really thick stalks before mincing. When done, you should have about 1 cup of minced parsley. Now we can put the rice stuffing together. We'll first start by placing the diced onions in a large bowl, then add in 2 tablespoons of salt and 1 tablespoon of black pepper. Knead the salt and pepper into the onions, and this will separate all the individual layers of onion from each other. Next, add in the washed and drained rice, then mix it with the onions until well combined. I'd recommend using a folding motion when mixing so that the rice grains don't break. Follow that up with 140 grams or 5 ounces of tomato paste, and mix the tomato into the rice until it is a uniform red colour. Now we'll add both of the herbs. First 1 cup of chopped parsley, then 2/3 of a cup of chopped dill. Fold this into the rice until well combined. Now add in the blended tomato from earlier and once again mix until well combined. To ensure the rice ends up really fluffy, we'll add 2 tablespoons of butter or ghee, and you want to heat this until it's extremely hot and fully melted, then pour it onto the rice. Follow that up with 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, then give the bowl one final mix. At this stage your mixture should be fairly red in colour. I was doubling the recipe and messed up some ingredients, so I went back and fixed the ratios, and this is what you want it to look like. If you need to, add in more tomato paste to get it to this colour. With the stuffing done, we'll prepare the vine leaves. Open the jar and remove the leaves, then give them a quick wash. If your vine leaves don't seem very soft out of the jar, then I'd recommend blanching them in boiling water for about 90 seconds. This will soften the leaves, making them much easier to roll. My leaves are quite soft already, so all I did was give them a good wash and let them drain. You can see the ribs that run along the leaf are quite small. This is a sign that the leaves are young and that they will be quite tender. Squeeze out any excess water and the leaves are ready to be used. In our household, we like to make our rolled vine leaves quite small, so we slice each leaf in half before turning each half into a single roll. It's much easier to do a whole leaf though, so if it's your first time then I recommend doing that. Place a vine leaf flat on your chopping board with the rougher ribbed side facing upwards. This way when you roll it, the ribs will end up on the inside of the roll. Remove the stem, then place about 1 teaspoon of the filling on the bottom third of the leaf, making sure to leave a decent gap to the bottom. Fold the bottom over the top of the filling, then tuck in the left and right sides of the leaf. Roll it forwards, then keep tucking the sides in. Continue rolling and tucking until you have rolled up the entire leaf. To make the smaller ones, lay your leaf on the chopping board, then slice it in half along the center rib. Take half of the leaf and rotate it at about a 30-degree angle, then add half a teaspoon of the rice filling to it. Fold the bottom over the filling, then tuck the left and right sides towards the center of the roll. Continue rolling it up and tucking the edges the whole time until you've rolled the whole leaf. In total, this filling was enough for 300 grams of vine leaves with just a small amount left over. When I was done, I was left with a large pile of stuffed vine leaves like this. You're now ready to fill the pot, but before you do that, take a large onion or potato and cut it into slices about 1 centimeter or 3/16 of an inch thick. We'll place these slices in the bottom of the pot, and they will prevent the vine leaves from sticking or burning. If you want, you could put some meat such as lamb chops in there instead. Add 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, then we can begin laying the vine leaves in a spiral. Start along the outside of the pot and place the vine leaves end to end until you form a complete circle. Repeat laying the vine leaves end on end until you have formed a complete spiral layer. Then just begin another layer on top of that and repeat the whole process. You'll likely end up with 3 to 4 layers of vine leaves, and when you're done you should have something that looks like this. Last thing you'll do before cooking is prepare some stock which we'll use to cook the vine leaves. It's best if you use homemade stock, but in its place I use the chicken stock cube. I also added 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of black pepper to the stock cube before adding in 300 milliliters or 11 fluid ounces of boiling water. Now on the stove, place the pot on medium-high heat and don't add any liquid yet. Cover the pot with a tight-fitting lid, and as it heats up, the vegetables and vine leaves will begin to sweat out their liquid. I let this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes, and when I checked it I could hear liquid boiling within. Tilt the pot slightly and you should be able to see a bunch of liquid which came out of the vegetables. When you see that, you want to fill the pot with enough liquid so that it reaches about halfway up the side of your stacked vine leaves. The way that I measure it is to tilt the pot on a 45-degree angle. If the liquid covers the first row of vine leaves and partially covers the second, then that is the right amount of water. Turn the heat up to high and let the pot come to a full boil. When it's boiling, keep the pot on high heat for about 5 to 10 minutes until it has evaporated away all the liquid on the surface, and it should look something like this. Once all you can see is steam, turn the heat down to low and let the pot steam for between 20 to 40 minutes. I'll check it at the 20-minute mark and every 10 minutes after that. You'll know it's done when the vine leaves have a soft and tender texture and the rice is fully cooked. To serve it, I'm going to make a quick yogurt and cucumber dip, which goes great with the vine leaves. In a bowl, add 1 cup of yogurt, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. Mix them together really well and add some water if needed to get your yogurt to this consistency. Crush and add 1 clove of garlic, half a teaspoon of salt and a third of a small cucumber, which you should dice quite finely. Mix this all together and you should end up with something that looks like this. Last thing you'll do before tucking in is to flip the pot. Let it cool down for about 15 minutes, then remove the lid and place a large plate or platter on top of the pot. Hold the plate firmly in place, then in one quick motion flip the entire thing over. It's best if you let this sit for a few minutes before removing the pot. Try to lift it slowly and smoothly before the whole thing inevitably collapses. You can put things back in place, but I think it looks nicer once it has collapsed. And because I know I'll get some questions about this, here's the onions we placed in the base of the pot. And there you have it, one beautiful pot of stuffed vine leaves. Now let's check out the taste test. The problem I always have with stuffed vine leaves is that I can never stop eating them. They've got a really satisfying taste and texture, and before you know it, you'll have eaten a whole cup worth of rice. There's definitely many different ways of making stuffed vine leaves, but I find the tomato and herb filling to have such a comforting flavour. With the yogurt dip, it's just extremely hard to resist, and I'm sure if you try this recipe you'll 100% agree. Thank you for watching, and if you make this recipe, send me some photos on Instagram. Don't forget to leave us a like or comment and subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks to our wonderful patrons for making this video possible, and I'll be back soon with another recipe.